Well, I don't know about that music. You guys always tell me what you think of the music. You always do. All right. So, let's just go right here. You likely have a revenue goal for this month. Yes? You have one? I'm guessing so. I don't want you to type the goal in the comments unless you want to. I don't want anybody to feel the pressure to do that. More importantly, what I want you to type in the comments is the answer to this question. What is your confidence level on a scale from 1 to 10? 1 being, nope, not going to happen, and 10 being, oh yeah, I got this. What's your confidence level on hitting that goal that you have for the month? Because my guess is that's where the gap is. And that's why you're tuning into this live where we're going to talk specifically about why you're not hitting those consistent revenue goals, even though you're doing all of the things. Yes? Okay. So, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you are just working your tail off? You're doing all the stuff and things, constantly going, constantly busy, and yet you're still not there. Who feels that way? Yes? Okay. Hopefully so. That's why you're here. And maybe it's because you feel like you're on a roller coaster, right? And so your roller coaster is I get a client, and so I have a good month, and then I don't have a client, and then I have a bad month, and it's up and down and up and down and up and down, and that's not consistent. You might be maybe feeling like I'm never going to get there. Like I haven't hit it yet. I haven't hit my goals yet. And so that's even more frustrating because you're like, I'm not even hitting once. Like what's that saying? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. Yeah, same kind of thing. And the truth of this is, okay, I was in this exact same situation even a year ago. I gotta do my math. Is it a year ago? Anyway, you get the gist. Like I had this same challenge. I felt like I was killing myself to post and post and post and post and post, and yet nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. Or what was happening is it was in this, I was in that roller coaster mode. For me, that's what I was in. Okay. So what I want you to really, really understand here is that activity does not equal revenue. And everybody will tell you that. There's all sorts of knowledge out there and gurus and experts out there telling you, you just be more consistent. If you're just more consistent, you'll hit. Yes, if you're doing the right things. And so if you're not doing the right things, you can be out here posting and going crazy, and you're like, ugh. It's like right thing, wrong way. See the difference? Okay. If you haven't, by the way, while I'm thinking of it, if you haven't seen, I did a reel, not too long ago. It was based on, Alex Hormozi, who has talked about the entrepreneur spiral. So if that is not something you've watched, it'll be a good one for you to watch. If you want the link, just type spiral in the comments and I'll get you the link to the reel. I think it was a reel. I'll find it. Nonetheless, I'll find it. Or we can always do another live if I can't find it. But here's what I want you to understand is that this whole concept of new ideas and new things and new strategies that will work, it's so tempting. And listen, I'm a manifesting generator on human design, so I love new ideas. Even before I knew my human design, I chased new ideas. Ideation is one of my values, for goodness sakes. So I got caught in this spiral of, oh, maybe this will work, and maybe this will work, and maybe this will work, and you start chasing all of these things, and then you just get frustrated because none of them work. And you're scratching your head and you're like, why does it work for that person, but it doesn't work for me? Yes? Can you relate? Like, tell me I'm not alone in being vulnerable here and sharing all of this. But the problem is that in the act of stopping doing what I'm doing to chase the new thing, I lose momentum. And so you might think, yeah, but Jamie, that just flies in the face of what you just said. You just said, don't just keep doing the same things and expecting different results. Yeah? True. Activity doesn't equal revenue, consistent revenue. But the issue is, and all of this, if I were to sum all of this up, is if you're not doing the right activities, it's not going to get you anywhere. When you know you're doing the right activities because it's starting to work, that's when you go all in. That's when you push. That's when you do more because you know it already worked once, so it'll work again and again and again. My husband always says, if you can sell 1, you can sell 10. If you can sell 10, you can sell 100. If you can sell 100, you can sell 1,000. See the difference? Let me know if you got questions on this. Let me just check comments and make sure you guys don't have questions on this because I think it's important. Okay. Okay. I see a consistent level a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10, convinced that you're going to hit your revenue goals of 3. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Yeah. And you know what? You're not the only one. I see several 3s in there. Yep, I see it. I see it. Yes, chasing the new squirrel. Yes, there's been studies show that we lose up to 40% productivity when we stop doing something and go start doing something else. And this is not even a new thing that you have to learn. This is just in your day if you start switching. 40%. I don't know about you, but I don't have 40% to lose. Okay, so the key here is you got to stop chasing the ideas. And I want to give you just a kind of a fun little analogy and also a little peek into my world. So I think you guys, if you haven't been following me, we are now full-time in an RV, and we had to upgrade our truck. We had to get a new truck because the truck that we bought just wasn't enough, and it didn't feel safe, and so we need to get a new truck. Okay, that truck has GPS, and it was one of the things I was so excited about because the first truck didn't have GPS. This new truck, which is older, actually has GPS. Go figure. But here's the thing. You can see where you are. Like, it'll pull up and you can see the roads and you can see where you are. But there is no step-by-step navigation. You heard me right. So what can happen is you can see where you are and you can see what's around you, and maybe you can figure out where you're going, but it doesn't guide you. It doesn't tell you step by step by step how to get somewhere. So you can end up, and this happened last night, we're out trying to explore and we just are going in circles. We're going in loops. I guess it wasn't that, it was yesterday afternoon. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And that's what's happening in your business. Is if you don't have a path to follow, if you don't have the step-by-step guide to direct you, you're just spinning. And that spinning gets worse because you're going off on this tangent, and that tangent, and that tangent. And oh my gosh, I used to have a little magic wand, and I really wish I still had it, because I wish that I had a magic pill that I could just offer you and it would just happen. But that doesn't exist. You know that, right? Like, there is no magic pill. You have to do the work to figure this out for you and your business. I want to help you, but you got to figure this out. And so bottom line, what you have to do is you need to have a process. You need to have a process, a step-by-step process that guides you. And when that's working, you won't worry about whether or not you're going to hit your revenue goals or not, because you know you will, because you've done it consistently over and over and over. That's what you need to do. Now, I'm going to give you some tips of what needs to go into that process. And I'm also going to invite you to book a roadmap call with me, a revenue roadmap call. And that's, if you've not had one with me before, you can book one. If you have, just talk to me first, and let's talk about what's changed and why you need it again. And we'll just have a little chat around it. Okay. So let me just say this, if you want a revenue roadmap call, I'm opening up spots this month in September. Just type the word roadmap in the comments and I will get you the link. Okay. What we're going to do on that call, by the way, is we're going to look at your roadmap. We're going to look at your process, and we're going to figure out what's the gap, what's missing, what part of this process or system is not in place or not working as it should, so that when you go to more activity, it actually is benefiting you. Okay. So let's talk about when constant revenue happens. Consistent revenue. This is the kind of predictable revenue. Every single month I'm hitting my goals. Every single month I'm hitting my 2K, my 3K, my 5K, whatever your goal is, 10K goals, but you're consistently hitting it. That's what we're talking about when we say consistent revenue, okay? So that happens when you have a process. Yep. I know you're like, I don't want to hear that, but it is true. You have to have a process that consistently makes that happen in order to achieve your goal. There's no other way around it. Okay. There are 3 things that you need to have in your process that help this happen. Are you ready? You ready for the 3? Now, by the way, I'm going to ask you at the end, which one is your gap? Okay. Number 1, you got to have an irresistible offer. And I talked this week on Telegram. I have I call it my mini podcast because I feel like it is. Every Monday I go live. Well, not live. I do voice note in Telegram. And this was this week's topic, all about irresistible offer. So if you aren't following me on Telegram and you haven't heard that, go check it out. Just type the word Telegram in comments and I'll make sure you have the link. But here's what you have to do. What makes an offer irresistible? An offer is irresistible when you are confident in that offer. When you are confident that your offer, whatever you've put together, is going to get your ideal client the result they want, your offer becomes irresistible because you believe in it. You have confidence in it. So yes, it's about making sure that you figure out the right offer for your ideal client, something they actually want. That's definitely a piece of it. But honestly, what sells more than anything else is your belief in that offer. Your certainty to the point where you're ready to promise a result. That's what makes the difference. So you've got to have an irresistible offer. It's got to be there. That's the number one thing we start. Anytime you work with me, whether it's one-on-one or in my group coaching programs, we start with this thing. I don't know which way to point. Irresistible offer. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you have to have, that's not number two. That's number three. What happened to number two? Oh, see, this is what happens. This is what happens. You ready? Okay, here, hold on. Okay, here, hold on. There we go. Oh, this is what happens when you go live, right? And it's been a little while since you got live. You don't check everything and you miss something. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I hope you're laughing with me. Okay, number two, you have to have a process by which you turn leads into clients. What is the system, the sales process that you go through to move those leads into clients? Yes, I am talking about a funnel. So let me go back here to this. And let me just turn that off. Okay, so you're talking about a funnel here. Okay, you got to have a way to get your leads in. Most of the time, that's social media, could be things like networking, etc. But then what is your process here to lead them into your offer? Next week, my live, we're going to talk about why this doesn't work. When you are posting and hoping for clients and everything is about promoting your offers, this social media to offer, this right here, that doesn't work. It can. Just like I said earlier, even a blind squirrel will find a nut every once in a while. It can work, but it doesn't consistently work. And that's why you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Okay? Uh-oh, where's my eraser? So what you have to have here is, oh, I guess I don't need to erase. What you need is some steps in between. This is your process, okay? And what I teach my clients is you need to have some sort of event. It can even be like this, Facebook Live, where you gather people who are interested in what you're talking about, you give them value, you solve something, you absolutely pour into them, but you are leading them to something, namely a call, like I have done today, right? So I'm doing a Facebook Live, that's my event. I did social media to promote this event. I sent some emails. I even talked about it on my networking calls. And then I offered a revenue roadmap call. And on that revenue roadmap call, I'm going to continue to pour into you. I'm going to continue to help you. But that is where I'm going to talk about how I can help you with this. That's where the offer comes in. So we have to figure out what this system is for you. What's your irresistible offer? We start with that. What is the sales process? What is the process by which you take people through? That's how you drive that consistent income. Because here's what happens, okay? That means every time you do an event, you know how many calls you're going to book. And from the calls that you book, you know how many you're going to sell. And it's automatic. It's on repeat. And every time you do it, it works and it works and it works and it works. Got it? Okay. I know I'm making it sound easy. It's not easy. Figuring this out is not easy. It's simple and it works, but you got to figure it out. Okay. The third thing. So number one was, let's just review. Number one was you got to have an irresistible offer. Number two was not number two. Number two is you got to have a process that you take your leads to make them clients. How do you turn them into clients? The third one, now we're ready for this, is you have to have a way to get and nurture leads, right? If you're not fueling this, if you're not getting people into this, you're never going to convert them. So you've got to have, it's like the gas that makes the whole system work. So when I talk about book a revenue roadmap call, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what are you doing in here inside of your funnel to make all of this work. Okay. What questions do you have on this? Let me just see if we got any questions. Here, I don't need to stay on this, do I? Okay. Okay, Kim was talking about ADHD. Yes. Those of you with ADHD, like me, like Kim, this whole shiny object syndrome is I know I have to work really hard to stay focused. Like most of the time I have to like have blinders on and be like, no, don't be tempted, don't be tempted. I actually have a tab in my planner. It's over there, where I put those new ideas in there because for some reason it works for me. I think, oh, that would be so good to do. And so I go write it over there. It feels like I'm taking action and I'm not going to forget it. And then it's safe there. And then I can be like, but I'm staying focused on here. It's just honestly, as an entrepreneur with ADHD, one of the hardest things I've had to like rein in and control. Some days it feels impossible, but it can be done. Okay. Nanya says, I'm having a hard time setting a goal because I've only had one client so far and her budget is not large. Yes, that's hard, right? It's hard. Where do you set your goal? Do you set it super lofty and then you're disappointed when you don't hit it? Or do you set it to easy, but then it doesn't really push you and challenge you, right? But here's what I'm going to say, Nanya. Here's the most important message in everything that you just typed there. You got one. If you can get one client, you can get 10 clients. If you can get 10 clients, you can get 100 clients. You've got to figure out this system for you that works on repeat every time you do it. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, Kim says issue is 1 and 3. Okay, so good. Kim, you're helping. It's like you're a plant in here in this live audience. So my question to you at the beginning was, which of these 3 things is your challenge, right? Is it, my offer's not irresistible? Is it, I don't have a process by which I'm navigating people through? And 3 is you don't have a way to get and nurture your audience. Here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? If you've got 2 down, it solves number 3. Because what you're doing in your social media to get leads, in your networking calls or whatever else, is you're promoting one of these 2 things. And if you say to me, or you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I tried that, it's not working, then these are not irresistible yet. You don't have the title right. You don't have the description right. You're not messaging it right. Something's going on in here that's making people not want the thing that you're promoting. Okay, so that's what we got to focus on is how do we make your offer irresistible? And honestly, your event and your call need to be irresistible as well. Because if they're not, if those 2 things are not bringing leads in, if people are not signing up for those things, if people are not showing up for those things, there's a gap in there. And that's what we have to fix. So Kim, I hear you on it's number 3. It might be a little bit of 2. Just saying. Not just for Kim, but for all of you. Okay. Okay. Okay, more questions. I love the questions coming in. You guys are so awesome. Okay, let's see here. What if you have clients who want multiple things? Oh boy. Yes. Again, with the spiral that can happen, right? And it is, especially when you are in this place where you need revenue, and you're not hitting it, it is so tempting to go chase that down. And to serve that client with that thing and serve that client with that thing. And oh my gosh, it's really hard. The best thing that I can tell you is that if you are working with clients one-on-one, you can sort of customize this, right? So maybe your offer, your irresistible offer is to work with me for X amount of time. And then you can tailor that to their specific needs. That's probably the best way to adjust to that. The call out that I will share, not only for you, Nanya, but for everybody else is, again, resist that temptation of I'm going to go build this and I'm going to go build this and then I'm going to go build this and I'm going to go build this, because now you're in that spiral. You're spending all of your time building these other things and you're not spending time doing the thing that actually gets you leads and clients. So you're actually better off focusing on one. One of the things I tell people, like I just sold my digital course, and one of the very first videos as they go through that course is pick one offer, and let's go all the way through to mapping this out on that one offer before you do a second one or a third one, because you want to get the process down first for the first one. And then when that's working and you're like, okay, that's happening. Every time I do it, I get clients on repeat. I'm just going to keep doing it. But now I have the mindset, the space to be like, okay, I can do another one because that one's running. It's like, it's like juggling balls, right? How many different balls are you going to be juggling to try and hit your revenue goal? You're going to get much further faster if you focus on one and make it happen all the way through. In fact, I've heard several of the greats out there say one of the mistakes they see entrepreneurs make is they're constantly chasing these new ideas instead of taking the idea they already have and multiplying it. So then these are people that are working with people who are already making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They do the same thing we're doing, right? Which is instead of saying, okay, this worked. I got clients out of this. How do I make this work better? How do I make this bigger? We go, I'm going to go get another one and another one and another one and another one. And then we're back to that whole 40% loss in productivity. See the difference? Now, the bigger question is probably, how do I decide between multiple ideas? I got an idea I can do this. I got an idea I can do this. Which one should I start with? It's like we want a magic 8-ball that we can shake and it's just going to tell us the answer. But that doesn't exist. I mean, the magic 8-ball exists, but its accuracy is not right on. Trust your intuition, lean into that. Talk to your audience, ask them what they want more, let them vote. And which do you have more passion on? Because if you're trying to figure out this system, if you're passionate about this offer, you'll push harder to get all the way through because you have passion around it. That's what I would say. I don't know if I answered your question, but hopefully I gave you some good stuff in there. Okay. Judy says, I need to work on number 2, doing more calls. Yep. More calls, right? I did a post not too long ago, and this is a really good question for all of you. If you need a client, do you know exactly what to do to get that client? I do. It's this. So if I feel like I'm not getting enough, I don't have enough clients in a month, then I need to promote more of my calls, or I need to do another event in order to get more calls. That's the answer. Again, these have to be the right ones, but that's how you get to where you want to be. It's just, it really is that simple. I know you think that it can't be that easy, that it's not easy, simple, right? Okay. Hope that helps, Judy. Okay, back to Kim. Yep, that's my issue. It's not irresistible. Yeah, and here's the thing, and this is really good. I'm glad you brought this up, Kim, because this is helpful for everybody else. You won't know until you try it. And we think, oh my gosh, I have to get it right? How many of you are recovering or are currently perfectionists? Yes. And so what happens is we we want to know we got it right, and so we wait and we dink with it and we tweak it because we has to be perfect. And the reality is, you got to put it out there and you got to be like, okay, this might flop. This might not work. This might not, but you know what? I put it out there and I'm going to learn by doing it. I'm going to learn lessons by trying. And every single time you fail, you get closer to getting it right. I can't tell you how many different events I've done, how many different calls I've done, how I've renamed them, remarketed them to get them to the point where I'm like, I know that when I push these things, I get sales. It takes time. But the only thing you can do to fast forward it is have a coach, have somebody that helps you, and it doesn't even have to be a coach, have a group of people that you can share your ideas with that'll give you real raw feedback. Sometimes it's painful, but man, is it helpful. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, Lawanda says 1 in 3 for her too. Yep. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Awesome. Okay, so where was I at? I was here. What was your gap, right? If you have gaps and you want some help, this is an opportunity to book a revenue roadmap call with me. So just type the word roadmap in the comments if you haven't already, and I will get you the link. And we'll start to work on this. We'll start to figure out, what does this look like for you? Now, if you already know that you want to work with me and you want some help in this space, there really are 2 ways that you can work with me. One is a digital course that is low cost. You get everything that's inside my one-on-one and group coaching programs in a digital course format. So that's one way that you can learn this whole entire system. I call this the Masterclass Conversion System. Only mine, my program, my everything. This is what you're going to learn from me, okay? So digital course is one option. The other option is to join my Ignite Your Business program. This is a group coaching program. It's a hybrid, so you also get some one-on-one time with me. And we're going to map this out from start to finish, okay? We are starting in 2 weeks. So if this is something you want some help with, this is the perfect time to jump in. And we can talk about that when you book your revenue roadmap call. Okay. So bottom line is this. I wish someone would have told me this a year ago. This whole idea of posting and hoping for clients. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So stop doing it. That doesn't mean that you get off the hook and you never have to post on social media again. But I'll tell you, now that I have this system in place, I am not near tied to social media. I'm posting on social media because I'm actually fueling this, or I actually have found that I like it. Like, I like connecting. I like talking. But your social media will completely change when you start to get this figured out, because that desperation, that hope and pray strategy is gone. Now, next week, my live, we're going to talk a lot more about this. We're going to talk specifically about why posting more doesn't work and why it's could actually be, why it's so darn frustrating. And we're going to talk more about that. So I hope you'll tune in. That week, it is Tuesday at 9 Pacific. So 9 Pacific is 10 Mountain, 11 Central, 12 Eastern. You know I'm time zone challenged, right? Okay, so here's the thing. You have to be the one that changes. Right. And so I like to ask this question because I think it hurts just in the right way. Right. Where are you going to be 3 months from now? 6 months from now? 8 months from now? If you're sticking with that post and hope strategy, you're likely going to be in the same place, only maybe more frustrated. Or you could start working now and build out a strategy so that you can have and drive that consistency in your business. I wish I had learned this. I figured this all out way prior to when I did, but I resisted. I wish I hadn't. So learn from my mistakes. Get there faster. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.